Hello, what's up guys? I'm Kyle from KGR, and today we're going to be taking a look at Bandai's Ultimate Legends Classic Naruto figure. Now, one of my viewers added me on Snapchat, and his name is Angel, so shout out to Angel. He's the one who kind of like tipped me about this thing. He's like, hey, there's a classic Naruto figure out there. Probably found it at Target. So for a month, I've been searching for this figure, and I finally found it. This figure is only 10 bucks, and it's also the only Naruto, classic Naruto action figure that you can find out there in the wild. There are some other classic Naruto figures out there that came out way back in the day, but they were like just regular toys that you'd find in a toy aisle at a toy store like Toys R Us. They weren't to the standard or to the scale of SH Figuarts. There was a set of figures back then that were kind of close. They were like SH Figuarts. Before SH Figuarts, they had different accessories and different hands and other stuff like that. But unfortunately, they weren't under a certain toy line. So trying to find those figures is not only hard because you don't know what to properly search, but when you do find them, they're not cheap because they're rare. They're very, very rare. So I didn't want to dish out a couple $100 a piece for these figures. So when I was told that this guy was only $10, I immediately went hunting for this thing, and I'm happy I finally found him. Now, there's other characters in this line that I found. There's also Shippuden Naruto as well as Kakashi. I'm not sure if there's anybody else in the line so far because that's all I've seen. But the main reason I got this guy is, will this compare half decently well to SH Figuarts when it comes to scale and posability and detail? I'm not going to hold it up too high because it's only a $10 figure. But from what we can see and how the articulation is just from the box, it tries to emulate SH Figuarts in a very cheap way. Not in a bad way, but in an affordable way, I guess. And since I'm looking at this to hopefully match the SH Figuarts, I am going to pull out some of the SH Figuarts when it comes to scale and detail and stuff like that. I have the whole SH Figuarts line for Naruto, but I'm only going to be pulling down a few of them. Mainly the ones that matter. I'm going to be pulling out Shippuden Naruto, Jiraiya, Kakashi, and for scale purposes, I'm going to pull out Boruto. And if you want to know how to track down this figure yourself, wait toward the end of the video because I don't want to stall too much in the beginning because I do that too often. But it ain't as easy as just ordering it and shipping it to your house or doing store pickup, at least as of right now. So I'll teach you what hoops you got to jump through in order to find this guy. So let's take a look at the box. As you can tell, it is like a blister card display. So we get the main figure right here. Bandai, Ultimate Legends, Naruto, and we get a nice render of classic Naruto himself right here. But my favorite thing about this box is actually the logo in the corner of the classic Naruto logo. Because normally when it comes to merchandise like this, you'll see like a Naruto to Boruto type of marketing right there, but no, they actually went out of their way and did the classic logo, so that had me really happy, and it kind of makes me want to buy another one of these just to keep it in the box, just because I love that. But then on the back of the box, we also get a couple of pictures of the prototype of the figure, as well as more Ultimate Legends Naruto logos and stuff like that. And the prototype is actually different from the final product, but I'm not going to dive into that because not a lot of us care about that. But before I do open this up and do a full-on review, I want to ask you guys a question of the day. What exactly got you into Naruto? Because for me, mine's a little bit of an interesting story. So my friends, who are also my neighbors, were really into Naruto back then. And when I got my PS3, they were really into the Naruto games. So there was a demo for Naruto Storm 2. So I played that a lot until I finally got a hold of the mechanics from the little bit they let you play. So the following game that was coming out at that time was Naruto Storm Generations. Now when this came out after Storm 2. And it was pretty much a filler game. Because of course, Naruto has to have fillers outside of the anime. But this game holds a special place in my heart because the main premise behind this is that it just gives you a background story of a good chunk of the characters throughout the series. And it goes from the classic era up to the Pain arc in Shippuden. And this was the perfect game for me to start with because it gave me a history of all the characters and all their arcs. So me diving into the anime became a whole lot easier and got me a lot more interested. So even though this game is going to be easily forgotten and it's not very important for the main story or main games in general, this game is really important to me because it got me into Naruto altogether. But without further ado, let's open this up and let's take a closer look. And here is the OG ninja himself, Classic Naruto. Now, even though this is a $10 figure and it's not technically an SH Figuarts, it's not made by Tamashii Nations, even though it's put out by Bandai, this thing does half decently well try to emulate what we expect from SH Figuarts. Now, obviously, it's not up to the exact same standard. It's not the same thing as one of those figures because, like, you can still see, like, the little stems and, like, the elbows and the wrists and stuff like that. So it's not a completely clean figure like those characters. For a $10 figure, it does a really good job of trying to emulate the SH Figuarts standard. But it ain't perfect, though. Because, like, if you bend it backwards, you're going to see that giant gap in his torso. And unfortunately, there's also a bit of a quality control issue because his wrist isn't very good at, like, staying up or anything. And obviously, there's no accessories or anything. This figure is what you see is what you get. However, for a $10 figure, it's actually pretty solid. I'm actually somewhat impressed by this thing. The only other thing I have to complain about besides the wrist being like that is, even though that's a quality control issue, this is a complaint that I have for the figure as a whole. I wish that his jacket, when it comes to these parts up here and around his waist, I wish they were painted a more vibrant blue, because this is a very, very dark blue, almost to the point that it looks kind of black or gray. So I was almost confused, like, am I sure this is a classic Naruto figure and not the Shippuden one? But obviously it is classic Naruto. But this, like his whole jacket up here, should be a much brighter blue. But even though I have those complaints, the attention to detail is still there. Like, if you look at the hair in particular, hopefully the camera can pick it up, it has, like, extra detail within the spikes, which we're also going to see that with Naruto SH Figuarts that are coming out in June in Japan, but probably, like, September or so once it finally hits over here. And even though, like, the paint lining, like, over here isn't absolutely perfect, most of the other paintwork on this thing is pretty spot on. Even the eyes I'm really impressed with. You can see a little bit of, like, mold lines within the hair, but again, this is a $10 figure. For a $10 figure, this is actually pretty impressive. I wish I could fix the wrist, but without doing too many modifications, but it is what it is. So getting a classic Naruto figure in this day and age where the standard has gotten so much better, getting a figure like this now, like, it actually makes me really happy. And it makes me wonder how SH Figuarts will handle this, because this is already half decent. I can only imagine how much better SH Figuarts would handle this guy. We also get a little bit of mispaint around the little strap for his little kunai as well. And the pouch is, like, attached, but, like, it's not very flexible or anything like you would see on SH Figuarts or anything. And like I said, the gapping in here is pretty annoying. It's that could have been done much better, even though it's only a $10 figure. And these butterfly caps, I'm not sure if that's a proper term for it, but these could have been a little bit bigger as well to hide the joint a little bit better. Like, I know corners were cut to make this figure $10, but, like, wow. They could have added a little bit more plastic. But let's go over the articulation for this guy, because, again, for a $10 figure, it's actually really impressive. So let's start with the head. So you can rotate this on paper 360, but his neck is kind of limited. As you can see right here, it's on a double ball peg. So if you try to extend it out too far, it will pop off. But, like, it tries to give him a little bit of movement to go up. But the collar is going to be the main thing that's going to be your limit. Whether it be the hair touching it, or if you try to go down too far, like, his chin does tuck in a little bit well, but we're not trying to look down. We're trying to make him look up, whether it be for when he's running or if he's just looking up to begin with. And rotating side to side, as you could tell earlier, is a little bit difficult for this guy. When we get to the shoulders, they're universal. They're also double ball pegged, so it doesn't get the full range of a standard Naruto Figuarts, but it does get much better range compared to most action figures at this price point. Even though it isn't very flattering, you can pull it off. And we also get a bicep swivel right under the shoulder, so right where it goes from what looks like black to orange, that is also a separate piece, so you can rotate that. When it comes to the elbow, we get just about 90 degrees, so you're not getting those double jointed elbows from SH Figuarts, which, again, for a $10 figure, it's okay. Then we get a hinge on the wrist, and we can also rotate that as much as we need to. And then we got the ab crunch, so you can go back about that far before it pops out, then go forward about that much. And because it's on a double ball peg, if it does pop off, it's no big deal. It's easy to put back in, just like an SH Figuarts. Waist movement is there, but it's not too easy to move around. But if you do want to rotate it, you can, but you do run the risk of popping it off. The legs are very impressive. You can move them forward, you can move them back. Well, it's not just the resistance of the pouch, it's them actually giving him a butt is what's causing it to not go back too far. And the way these are sculpted, you can put these out about this far, but then you also get this ugly looking gap in here. But you can move that wherever you need to. Like, it doesn't totally lock in place, which is good. But once you hit a certain point, it does like want to finish off going outwards because of how this thing is sculpted. And then the knees, they look like they're double jointed, but they're really not. But they do get a half decent amount of range, kind of similar, kind of close to SH Figuarts. Totally built different, but it still gets decent range. And we got 2 points on the ankles. You can go forward and backwards, and they also give you an ankle rocker within the foot, so you can move that side to side. He doesn't have a toe rocker, like he doesn't have a toe joint or anything, so it is what it is on that one. But again, for a $10 figure, the articulation on this thing is actually quite impressive, and it does its best and cuts a decent amount of corners to get close to that SH Figuarts articulation, so it doesn't look the best and doesn't get the exact amount of range. But for a $10 figure, this is very, very impressive. This is something I forgot to bring up, but like, look at the attention to detail, even in the zipper. Like, again, this is a $10 figure. They could have just painted a stripe down there and called it a day, but no, they actually put that attention to detail in there. And I love how, like, this isn't very movable, so getting that line, that zipper line, to stay in place is perfect. And the groundwork is there. So come on, SH Figuarts, come on, Tamashii Nations, please make a Figuarts Young Naruto, because I can only imagine how good that thing will be if this is already impressing me. But let's start comparing this to some of our other options that we got from SH Figuarts. And here he is next to Shippuden Naruto. This is the most recent Naruto SH Figuarts as of this recording. So finding this guy for about $35, whether it be on Amazon or Target or anything like that, is relatively easy to find. So I'll provide links in the description if you want to grab those as well. If you do the Amazon link, it will help me out. It's an affiliate link. But back to the task at hand. As you can tell, there are some differences, obviously, because they're two completely different toy lines, two completely different standards and stuff like that. Like, the finish on the SH Figuarts is much nicer compared to classic Naruto. But because these are two completely different lines at two different price points, it's not completely fair to compare them like that. But the main comparison I want to do is how well it scales. But finding a proper scale between these two is a little bit difficult, so what I'm doing is I'm going to compare it to the logo from Naruto Storm Generations, because you can see how classic Naruto is kind of at Naruto's shoulders from Shippuden, and his hair kind of sticks up beyond that, and as we can tell from these figures, it does that with ease. So is this a perfect scale? I can't really say that for sure. But judging from this, I think it's a good looking scale. I like that. However, if you scale it next to Boruto over here, Boruto is much taller, and Boruto is also from SH Figuarts, but it is almost around the same height as Shippuden Naruto. So I'm not sure how much that's going to count when it comes to scales, but judging from Naruto Classic to Shippuden Naruto, I think this scaling is pretty much perfect, in my opinion. And the other scale I want to do is him compared to a couple of his senseis, Kakashi and Jiraiya. Like, when I put this on my shelf, the classic Naruto, I mainly compared it to just normal Shippuden Naruto. But also comparing this right now, again, I think it's a perfect scale. I hope if SH Figuarts does manage to make classic Naruto figures, I hope it's about this size and this scale, because this figure kind of nails it. Again, I wish, like, the shoulders were painted a proper blue, but this is fantastic. They did such a good job with this. So overall, what are my thoughts on this figure? Keeping in mind that this thing is not an SH Figuarts, so it's not going to have extra accessories, it's not going to have the same articulation, it's not going to have the same standard or anything. For a $10 figure, it does its job really well. It sucks that there's quality control issues, and like I said, I wish the paint on his shoulders was better, but there's a decent chance that we're probably not going to get a classic Naruto or a classic Team 7 set from SH Figuarts. So I would say pick this guy up while you can, since he's only $10. The scaling, in my eyes, is there. So it's going to look fantastic on your shelf. Like, even though it is a $10 figure, it does have a decent amount of care in there. The paint job, for the most part, I would give it like an 8 out of 10. Like, they've done a really good job. And I think it would look excellent on an SH Figuarts Naruto shelf. Now, when it comes to trying to find this guy, that's a little bit difficult. In the link in the description, I will have a link to the listing from Target's website. But as of this recording, you can't do ship to home. You can't do a store pickup or anything. So what I recommend doing is going in that listing, and in the description there's going to be a UPC and a bunch of other codes that a Target employee can help you find. So you can either call ahead, or you can go to a Target employee if it's not in that Target store in particular, and they can search it up by either UPC or whatever other code is in that description, and it'll help you, and it makes their job a little bit easier since you have the exact code, so they can look exactly for what you're looking for. And I'd also recommend calling ahead to these stores just to see if that store in particular has it in stock, because it'll say from store A that store B has it in their system, but the inventory gets refreshed every so often. So I would say call them just to make sure that it's there. I can't promise you they're going to be able to hold it aside for you, but you can at least get confirmation if it's there. But hopefully by the time that this goes up, and hopefully by time passes, you will be able to find this a little bit easier. Hopefully you'll be able to just order it and then just have it shipped to your house, or just do a store pickup or something for it. But as of right now, this is the only classic Naruto action figure out there on the market, and they did a good job. And that's it for the video. So if you're new and you like what you saw, you know what to do. In the description, there's going to be my social media. I recommend following my Instagram if you like action figure photography. And I hope you can find this figure yourself. And let me know in the comments, do you plan on picking this guy up? Thank you for watching. I love you guys to death, and I'll see you on the next one. So peace.